Is creating a big man this year viable? Is it fun? Can you succeed offline and online? The last season it turned out that any screen you set would break the play. This made playing a big man rather pointless. While it is entirely possible to be successful without running plays, playing a team game without them is quite difficult and the illusion of playing for an NBA team doesn't quite hold up. Plays were finally fixed in this year's game, so how does the experience hold up? Let's take a look at my 7-foot center's journey to the NBA draft, the first couple of games. Starting out in the rookie prospect game, it's still the freelance mess we've gotten used to. It's tough to get the ball as a big man in positions where you can score, and you get negative feedback very easily when calling for a pass. Your teammates don't really care enough to pass to you, even if you're open or in a good position. The only time you really get the ball is when you're around mid-range, which is not ideal. Thankfully the hop step and post move seem to be effective to at least get on the line. The attributes you get are not much to write home to. I chose all around for the higher attribute caps, but specializing would probably be useful, although I wouldn't recommend defensive as you really don't benefit much on defense, but it will limit you offensively quite a lot. For offense, your outstanding skill is your strength, which you can use to back down your opponents. Up and unders, while much better balanced, are still effective in drawing fouls around the basket, and getting your own board after a missed post move can quickly bump up your stock. After being drafted, you should increase at least one scoring aspect to get a reliable way to score. Although, as you'll see through my first few games, where I don't upgrade much of anything, you can still compete even on Hall of Fame. You can mostly call for a pass, even with the frequent penalties for it, and still end up with an A+ rating as a big man. The easiest way to get your rating up is just to go around setting screens. I already had an A- rating going into the half. Rebounds are tricky. Your recovery times are terrible, and oftentimes when you try to go for a rebound, your player for some reason is still going for a blocking animation, even if you already blocked the shot, and sometimes when you don't even press to do so. This is a new issue and desperately needs fixing. For assists in the prospect game, you really just have to rely on the other big man to cut to the basket and hope they make a shot, as the guards don't really shoot when you pass it to them. Once you get in the NBA, however, spacing will be better, and players are more likely to shoot when open.
We have the 5th pick in this draft.
Man, I love the idea that you consider me a centerpiece.
We have the 3rd pick in the draft.
Oh, most definitely. Looking at the roster you have, I love all the young talent on that thing.
We have the 8th pick of the draft and are looking for someone to be the face of our franchise.
Oh, that's not a problem for me at all.
I could have been more aggressive to initiate double teams to get more steals and possibly fast break points, especially when your matchup gets the ball. You can call the point guard guarding Carter Williams to come over to double without the risk of giving up a shot. After I got drafted by the Wizards, I decided to get the brick wall skill and max out my vertical, which is sadly just 60 for centers. Next up are the training camps. For some reason I decided it would be a good idea to go for the training camps at the start of the season, which is not how you should do things. Training camps should be the thing you do before the last game of each regular season. The amount of attributes they give you are going to always be the same, yet they cost more to upgrade every time you spend VC on them.
Yeah, baby, this is where it all starts. Let's get out there and ball.
My first NBA game went fairly well. There's an immediate difference to how I'm being treated, like a member of a team. You can also see how off-ball movement has improved. Last season, if you bumped into an AI opponent, they would completely impede your movement, which made executing plays difficult, even when you weren't breaking them by setting screens. Now let me bring up the issue of making a big man and then going online. The sad part about the very strict attribute caps is that you're setting yourself up for failure with a center or power forward build. If you wanna play a big man online, what you should do instead of having to deal with these huge restrictions on your attributes like speed, quickness, steals, on-ball defense, jumpers, etc., is just to make a small forward. You can still make him 7 feet tall, and you can get pretty much the exact same attributes in most categories like rebounding, blocking, post game, and yet you can be as fast as anyone on the floor, as good as defender and as good as shooter. There's really no upside from making a big man, which is really unfortunate design decision.
Tough spot. And what a game for Red Hot. He's got 13 points, and he's tallied 7 points at the line. A very nice total.
Yeah, the coach will be very happy with his production and his aggressiveness today, that's for sure.
Some might call this cheese, and personally I'll be sticking with an actual center. But you should be aware that a lot of big man matchups you will face online will be using small forwards. The default difficulty in NBA 2K is Pro for a reason. This is the difficulty mode where the AI plays with the same sliders and rules as you do. When companies create games, they want to have their most intelligent AI to be what you see as default, to make you impressed with the game. What you see in pretty much every game in the industry is that on the more challenging difficulty modes, the AI is going to cheat by having better attributes than you do, or simply have superhuman reaction times. In 2K this means that after Pro difficulty the AI gets better attributes. As such, Hall of Fame doesn't really make the AI more intelligent, but just makes their attributes way higher. This is why we see people complain about the so-called Hall of Fame cheese, because yes, it is just that. The AI is cheating to try to get to the same level as you. The annoying part in my career comes from the fact that only the opposing team's AI gets better attributes. This can make the game somewhat unfair when all you're controlling is one guy, especially if you're not running the show from the point. There's no shaming not playing on Hall of Fame, as the difficulty doesn't come from the fact that the AI is playing more intelligently. Although if you play well enough, it's certainly not unbeatable from any position. One other thing I want to mention is the on-court coach signature skill. While extremely expensive, 10,000 VC, it gives you the ability to call plays for the team, both on offense and defense. If you plan on playing a lot of my career, this is a must-own skill, because with it you can set the defense to play tight on shooters with the D-pad, which will fix the issue of guys sagging off on shooters, giving up open shots at the end of shot clocks, and just when you really need a stop. This issue really needs fixing though. Yet another situation where the game decides I want to block when clearly there's no reason to do anything except go for the rebound. My guy seemed to be a bit on the edge in this game. I don't blame him. Hall of Fame can be tough to deal with sometimes. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions on what I should cover next, please leave me a comment down below. I'll leave you with this sequence of events. See you next time.
Here's